handle the truth.
Do my job here. Hey, everybody. Oh, yeah, it's that kind of day. All right, good morning, everybody. Afternoon, good evening, and if I'll see you later tonight, good night. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, hey, I forgot the government needs to tell me what day it is because, God forbid, we knew that just offhand. We're going to call it December 22nd. It's a Monday, 2025. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I was running about a few seconds late. I did not realize when I went to start the show, I hadn't even started the show, meaning that I had not put the headers in, some other things I have to do, and it just took me, I can get it, if I'm really in a hurry, I can get it done pretty fast, but I did absolutely come in here a little slow today. Yeah, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and again, that is it. That was the daily update, so I appreciate you guys all being here. No, I was at AmFest this last weekend. The Turning Point event, I'm not really sure where we should all start. The idea, I did tell you guys I would probably maybe not going this and that. Well, I went ahead and went, and now I'm leaning here a little bit, if you notice. And I'll probably be pushing off on my elbows because I am back right where I started from more than a week ago. So anyway, that's cool. Anyway, so did go. Thank you for the donations and everything that made it possible to make sure that I was able to be there. Southwest now has it. I don't know how they do it. They literally have it down to less than 2-hour flight now to get from Wichita to Phoenix. It takes longer to get to Dallas. And if you get on the little mappy map thing and you go like this and you go like this, Dallas is like this and Phoenix is like this. So I don't know. Maybe it's those little regional puddle jumper duper-dupers that they put in the air, and that's why it takes the extra hour. You get on one of them 737 700s, you're there in less than 2 hours, door to door. That means the tiki-offy part and the downdy-oundy and the landy-andy, and then up to the gatey-gatey, that's less than 2 hours. Actually kind of spectacular that it happens that fast. But when you get into those small Canadian airs, those regional jets, well, it takes a little longer, and that's where it ends up being the 3-hour flight. And always, it seems like always, most of the time, coming out of Wichita to Dallas is those regionals. But I do want to thank Southwest for that. But I will tell you right now, guys, if you think that you have any wiggle room in your whatever you want to call that thing that they give you, it is amazing. I have kind of sized myself down and really kind of made myself a little narrow. And I had the lady, on going out, I didn't have anybody next to me. But coming back, the lady that was sitting next to me, she was a Hispanic lady, seemed very sweet. She fell asleep several times. The guy next to her fell asleep and snored loud enough I could hear him against the window. But anyway, she was spilling into my chair with her arm, and it really wasn't that her arm was in the wrong spot on the rail, but it was the kind of the back of her arm that was kind of into the space of mine. But I didn't mind. I kind of curled into the window a little bit. There's that little spot in there where you can kind of get in that spot, and I was able to get her done, I guess. Not a problem. Didn't think it was a big deal. Again, we're all humans, and we're all trying to get through this thing called life. So as we're going down this path of things, and do I have a little bit of reverb going on? I'm not sure if I've got a test on that. Anybody want to tell me if I got I feel like I'm getting reverb on the mic, and I want to make sure it's not going out on the air. Sometimes it doesn't always clean up going out. So just if anybody's out there, let me know what we can do there. So, so here we go. So anyway, like I said, it was, I'm not out on a bunch of stuff again. What in the, crap. Let's see here. Now let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Oh, I'm still not, okay. This is why nobody's around, because it is not going out on, oh my gosh, it's not letting me go to pages. Why won't it let me go to a page? Okay, we'll do that. Let's get that one going. Golly, I hate when it does this. This is so dumb. Oh. Just give me just a second here, guys. I am out there. I just got to get everything back where it was. So, not on Facebook, sir. Yeah, Edward, I know. I don't know what happened there, and I don't have any violations. They won't send me anything. I just hate this. All right, I got it out there now. I've recopied it on there. Edward, if you want to go over to the Jim Price or the Jim Price Show, either one, I do have a copy playing over there now. I do not know why this is such a thing with these guys. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so somehow I violated two of the pages in the Jim Price Show collection. Now the third one is still streaming, so I put it out there. So those of you that are a little behind on catching up, hopefully we'll get that done. So anyway, thank you, Edward, for did not load on Facebook. Yeah, I saw that, Ed. So, yeah, I'm reading your Twitter comment. Sorry, sir. Anyway, again, I don't have any notifications. I can go through my stuff on Facebook and see if I can actually pull up what it is that they're referencing to, that maybe, just maybe, I have a violation of some sort. I don't know. This is where it's like, I just hate this. I hate this little arbitrary computer. By the way, guys, how do you like being ran by computers? Listen to me real quick. I'm going to do a little bit of an interjection of emotion here. Since we were allowed to do the voice to talk for, number one, I need number two, taxes, payment. You remember we were all training the computer how to talk to us? No, they were training us how to talk to a computer. That you can tolerate the indifference and the passive-aggressive effect of it, where they don't respond to you in the right way or at all, because it's just a computer. It doesn't care about you. It only knows what the ones and zeros tell it, and if 1 + 1 = 2, that's all it knows. If the programmer put in there 1 + 2 = 2.5, well, you'll never get the right answer, and you'll always be wrong. Welcome to my podcasting, radio, TV world. This is what we do. We're constantly waiting for the little pot shots. We're waiting for the sniper to come out of nowhere that will tell us somehow, some way, that we have now violated, that we have gone out of our way to do something that will get us taken off of their algorithm, but we don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. We don't. Like right now, I'm looking for it, and I can't find anything where it says any of that on there. Edward, thank you so much for catching up on those comments. Thank you, sir. So anyway, let's go ahead and do some stomping of toes and making everybody a little bit uncomfortable as we talk about this weekend and the things I saw. Now, I have gone out of my way, and I really do I try to keep it down the middle on saying, if you want to support Israel, the country, then that's your choice. I do not support Israel, the country. I do not support Russia, the country, or Ukraine, the country, or China, the country, or really pretty much anybody else. See, I really have a problem with the fact that I am, supporting things that I don't want to, but I don't support other countries. I look to my country and say, hey, like my, checking account, I would love to go out and build a bunch of really cool neighborhoods that are all very interactive and community-based and allow people to actually work together. I'd love to do that. I'd love to have that money. I'd love to give that to you. I'd love to go out there and give you solar and pumps and well water going and pipes and all this technology and education. But you know what? I don't even have my own house cleaned up yet. I don't even have my own well. I do have my well working, but I'm just being facetious with that. But I don't have my own well working. I don't have my things going yet. Do you see what I'm referring to here? Is the idea that if we continue to play this game of the world bankers and those that believe that we should be doing their bidding worldwide, then we're always going to be the sucker in the story, because we're having to figure out how to be the nice guy but the bad guy all at the same time, because we are serving too many masters. But if I say that I like America, and I have said, now listen, guys, if I could go back to my original, maybe I'll go back and find the Wayback Machine or something. I can find my original Facebook page, and maybe I could find some of my stuff that way. But I know back in 2009, I was talking about Folks, if you want America to be amazing, if you want America to be something that's going to be lasting, quit buying China shit. The problem is that, I was seeing the effects in my work world where I was in the middle of trying to source certain things, and I was being told that those things could not be sourced only from China or Taiwan or some other Bangladesh, all these different Pacific Rim type countries, and it was very hard to find America-made metal sourced, or America-sourced material, meaning metals and other things. But see, I was saying it back then. So it's not new for me to come down on this real hard right now. And I'm always seeing this as a defense contractor where I really believed America could do better because the shit that I had to put into my business, my designs and the things, I was really sad that it was so much easier to source so many other products from other third world countries, but yet our own country makes a superior product, but there was only just one or two selections. And then, by the way, that actually violates a lot of the military contracts. So I was feeling and I was hurting. It's like, guys, I can only buy this valve from one company because they're the only one in America that makes it. And in fact, we don't even know if they really do, if they're not just putting their stamp on it. And it hurt my feelings to know that my country was that way. And this was back 15, 16, 20 years ago. I understood that as a man. And I put it out on my Facebook page, and I did it like as a little bit of I think it was 4th of July or an election type thing, and I didn't really think of myself as a political person back then. But I was saying that's like, hey, guys, you want America to be great? Well, quit buying frickin' Nissans and Toyotas and Kias and all this other foreign. Oh, it's German. No, it's German, Jimmy. It's not a problem. No, here's the problem. If you want American jobs, then put the money in America first, guys. You vote with your money. And the easiest way to make this entire government bend its knee instantaneously to you is by you actually putting in the effort to do America first. So now that I've said all that and you feel a little motivated, you want to get behind the old idea that, hey, maybe we got to do this as America, then why did we just turn around this last week and spend $800 billion on Ukraine and Israel? I'll wait for your damn answers. I'll wait for your freaking answer. Oh, we got $800 billion right there before Christmas to send Ukraine and Israel. We're suddenly giving Ukraine more money than the Bidens did in one fell swoop. Are we all smoking the wrong stuff? Or we got a little bit of dirty weed in our pipe? Or we got bad tobacco? What are you smoking dirt? What's the deal here? Something doesn't smell right. Because if you can tell me that, oh, you're big mad about the Charlie Kirk and this and all these other things, but the problem is our Congress just went last week and said, hey, why don't we just go, boo, 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 boo. Hey, Israel, we're going to give you hundreds of billions of dollars. Why? Why? Can someone write it down with crayons in like a nice bright, like red or blue, real contrasting, use big letters. And if you could do it like maybe block letters, I really don't want to have to stumble over this. But can you please tell me why we just spent almost another $1 trillion on Ukraine and Israel? What the F did we just pay for? Hey, Stephanie Morrow, thank you so much for being here. Karen, hey, good to see you. Garrison, pretty good little Christmas party picture there. Good to see you guys up there in Salina. Ken Riesing, good to see you, man. So I'm going to do a little rant here about the whole idea of what it is we all want to talk about. And then when I go out there and say I don't support the Israel country, I don't support Turkey, the country, I don't support Venezuela, the country, I don't give two shits about Canada, Mexico, Peru, Brazil, Bagoo. I'm sorry, you're not on my list of importance right now. I've got $34 trillion that the fake cartels have told me that I owe them. And somehow my country doesn't understand the cages that they're living in. So I'm going to go with, hey, guys, you guys want to talk about what we do and don't do? Let's not get our religion tied up in our buttermilk here, right? Let's talk about the fat that we're dealing with. We're sending $1 trillion back to the Middle East. Really? I thought we already sent $22 trillion over there already, protecting the opioid fields for China. And most of Europe, by the way, if you guys understand that Europe really likes their whew, those flowers are pretty. My problem is, guys, that these are all facts. And I know I went on a bit of a rant right here, but maybe it's the pain in my back. Maybe it's the desperation as I look around and I spent $1 trillion just before Christmas when I'm trying to figure out how to do Christmas. So someone got to math that out for me. Someone's got to write it down in really good letters so I can really concentrate on them and make them small so my small little brain that's all atrophied because I'm on my low-fat diet and no salt so my crystal doesn't shine like it should. Please, somebody, can you please help me on this? Because I'm trying. And not that it's a problem that we need to go out and spend bazillions of dollars at Christmas. Maybe it's more about the idea that we just get together every now and again and we can call it Christmas and we can call it Easter and we can call it birthdays. But every once or twice or 3 or 4 times a month, we need to get together and have that taco dinner, have that little bit of pie. Maybe you make a pumpkin pie every Friday and everybody comes by and just gets a piece of pumpkin pie and that's it. And however long, 15, 20, 30 minutes that you stand there to eat that pie or whatever it is and talk about, well, this week tastes a little bit better than last week. What'd you do? A little bit of longer or slower heat? How'd you do that? But I don't care if you call it Christmas. I don't care if you call it Hanukkah. It's all stupid anyway because we're going to celebrate Kwanzaa. Some guy created a community event and then somehow they said that that's Black Christmas. Are we this dumb? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. We have washed down religion. We've washed down our money. We've washed down our eyes. We've washed down our bodies. We have failed ourselves, and all we have to do is stop doing their shit. I don't care if everybody shows up here at my house. We'll figure it out. Ken says, dinner at Jim's. See you there. Absolutely. We'll figure it out, right? Because we don't need government. We don't need all this bullshit, and then we don't need spending trillions of dollars in the Middle East. And if you want to say that Israel's not in the Middle East, well, what are we talking about, folks? If you want to say that Ukraine is not in the Middle East, where do you just kind of look where the map goes, okay? Okay, I get it. It's probably closer to other things, but let's do this. That middle of the world over there is a big old toilet hole that we know that we're getting nothing but sewage out of, and yet we're over here going, is that sweet honey? Ooh, is that oh yeah. Corn? I don't remember eating corn. Guys, what are we doing here? So I'm going to go down a little bit of a rant here, and I got something, and I will go down the whole, we're going to go down the whole TPUSA stuff, and I'm not here to shit on any of it. I'm going to tell you right now, I wish that we were doing that all the time, that those rallies like that were happening in cities every single month where 40, 50,000 people are showing up for 3 or 4 days trying to educate, trying to bring their energy together, because honestly, guys, that is how you win. Period. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't like how sausage is made. I'm sure there's things that go into it or whatever it is or however it looks or whatever I'm probably not real cool with. But, I just trust the butcher, right? I don't go shove my head up a cow's butt to see if the ribs look good. I'm going to take the butcher's word for it, right? Isn't that the Farley joke? Right, Chris Farley? Chris Farley, sorry. So my point of all this is, and I know I'm on a bit of a rant here, but here's the thing. I didn't agree with how it was ran this year. The speakers were so loud in the vending area, you had to yell at everybody that was in there, including the person you're trying to have media interviews with. And the problem is a bunch of young people run it, and they haven't really thought about these things, and maybe they don't have somebody that's in their 50s or 60s sitting there just being the grumpy old man saying, all right, turn it down, guys. Bring the sparklers down. They don't have to hit the damn ceiling. Those things are only meant for 2 to 3. Those are only meant for 2 to 3 feet. They're not meant to make the whole world, look like the sun. Maybe it's turn the smoke machine off a little bit so everybody's eyes aren't watering and you're not coughing all the time. But again, they're excited about it and they're doing their thing, okay? I get it. But there's a lot of us that aren't even bothering to go to their event and watch them be stupid. Now, the rest of this is going to get harder from here, okay? It's going to get harder from here. I didn't go into the main venue whatsoever. I was very busy out. I had a lot of great conversations, talking to a lot of great people, did some interviews. Now, I don't know when they'll go out, if they go out, whatever, it's their thing. But the point of it is that, when you got in there, it was so weird that the perimeter was not a staged perimeter where they were securing a block away across the street. They were allowing traffic that was basically right up against the building on both sides. There was a lot of police presence, almost like a complete bolo, elbow to elbow. There's cops just, but the problem is they're right up against the building. So I got security problems the whole way. The whole way. Oh, they had some Jersey berries, Jimmy. Oh, my gosh, guys, come on. Are we still doing this? So the idea of the facade of extra money spent on security and those things, whatever. It really wasn't any different than it was the years before. It was just a lot more people there. But then you go downstairs and you go into where the media was, and there was half the media there was last year. And someone's going to have to show me some numbers or prove it to me that there wasn't half the media. Oh, Fox News was there. We had Rumble had a big booth. They had a 20 by 20. And it was, there was things going on, cool them, right? Do it. And again, I'm not taking away from it, man. They spent the money to get that thing. They paid the money. They got the banners. It looked very much exactly the same with all the wall banners, all the hangers. Really, that part of it is really cool. So there was some situations there, and like I said, I ran into a lot of great people, but the media just was not the same as it has been in the years past. And I would say in the two halls there was only 5 groups there, five voices, and then the rest of the media was put along the back wall where the vending is. Well, the problem is you got vending where people are trying to do interviews. Well, you have a lot of crossover voice traffic, but then inside of that same room, you had these big, loud speakers, like, the big Bo concert speakers they do where they hang them down off the front of the stage. They got those big arcs. Well, they had one of those hanging on the other side into the vending area, which also had a resting area, but the problem was they were blasting it through the whole room. And again, that area was significantly hotter the entire 3 days. Don't know why. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. It's none of my business. And the food, well, last year, Charlie Kirk had this own hydrogen bottle or hydrogen water. Somebody showed up with some really great water last year, and it was really fantastic water. Nope, this year, sponsored by Pepsi. Everything was vending. Everything was Pepsi, and that's fine. I'm a Pepsi fan. If I drink Pepsi, I'd rather have Pepsi than a Coke. But for me, so I think I'm giving you all the negatives, right? And I'm just kind of giving you the lay of the land. Now, the place was packed, folks. But I'm going to tell you the other part where I'm really disappointed. Listen to me. Where last year, I would say 60 to 70% of the entire room was 30 and under. Last year, it was 30 and under. Okay? That was 70, at least, I want to say 70%. To me, it felt like that. Maybe it was because of the TPUSA volunteers were there all around, and there was a big, maybe a 50% crowd. I don't know. It just seemed a significant number that was greater, that was fresh, fresh young faces looking for like their bright eyes. They hadn't been kicked in the teeth real hard. They want to be involved. They see their desperation. But this year, it was completely flipped. I mean, completely flipped. Not that there wasn't young people there, but I would say it was 20, 30%. It really wasn't the same in the attendance. Now, whether that was just because kids don't buy their tickets way in advance like everybody did back in November, or September, sorry. I'm really way off. Wow, I kept getting further away from the date. Sorry, September. So maybe kids weren't thinking about buying their TPUSA tickets, and maybe they weren't available. But here's the thing. I would actually have made sure that the same ratio last year, that if you were showing a college student registration, or you can send me an invite from a college email, I'm going to make sure that you're getting in. And I'm going to make sure that there's so many of those certain tickets sold that come from exact colleges. Or you can actually, send me your driver's license that you are under the age of 30. show me some type of age verification, or you go into, you can do those little things online. They have those where age verification for buying tobacco products and things like that. But the problem was, again, it was a complete flip. Which again, there was a lot of great kids there, a lot of people you could see they're very excited doing their thing. But I dearly wish that would have stayed more focused. But hey, there's that passion of that elderly, right? The older people, the people that were the very retireds were there as well. But there was a lot of 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It was the whole thing. But again, to me, it's like, guys, stay the course of what it is. Don't get tied up in what, in formulas that really don't work. Don't try to reinvent it, especially in the short term. And hey, again, God bless them. They packed the house. They really did. But I really wish it would have focused more on the kids and given those kids the first chance for those tickets. And maybe in the last week or two that, the kids hadn't bought out all the 70%, well, then you leach those, not leach those out, but spill those out, saying, groups of 5,000. Oh, we're going to announce that 5,000 additional tickets that were still unsold are going to go ahead and be released on, 2 weeks ago. But again, this is where I would have maintained that focus on the younger people, because that's where we create lifelong people who believe that debt and federal control is really a waste of a life. And I really do believe that in all that stuff, and I believe that that's really what it should be about. And I really understand that TPUSA does the Christianity with it. They put the biblical in there. They really drive that hard on that political aspect, which, hey, that actually works. I actually get what he's doing. I get it the whole way. But I could tell you right now, I could try to put together the same kind of event with 50 and 60-year-old people, and I can't do that, what they did. And it's crazy to say that these are the people that are really being the most affected by the government's overreach, are the ones that do not get together and rally the way the young kids do at TPUSA. See, again, I'm balancing it out. I'm talking about what we're not doing and what they are doing, but not what they're not doing, but we are doing, right? So we're participating in a system that we know that is absolutely screwing us, but then looks like we're not giving a crap because we don't get together and we don't harmonize with each other. We don't talk to each other. We don't involve with each other. And that's how they keep us divided. And that's the easiest way to do it. And they go back in the annals of history and they'll say that coffee itself was the reason the revolution even occurred at all. Was because men sat around tables and drank caffeine and didn't get tired at night. And they sat there over candlelight and they said, hey, why is it that we just keep giving in? They've taken my this and they've taken my that, and there's no return of investment. There's nothing I get back from that. I get a screw you. You're just a colonist. But see, they knew what it was like to be the least of the world, because they weren't considered to actually be legal English settlers, because they were colonists. There was a devaluing of their currency as a citizen. So maybe sometimes when you get your spring pushed all the way down to the very, very bottom, maybe that's when you're going to push back the hardest. Maybe you decide to actually get up and get involved, and all of a sudden, just through a little bit of caffeine coming out of the Caribbean because it really wasn't part of the English way. Oh, we should all be talking like this, all right? We all could be bloody hell. Hey, this is off in place for you. Look at this. See, the problem is, guys, we may have changed our language. We may have been grown up to be Americans, but we're really cowards because we don't stand up to the crown, and we don't stand up to the tyranny that we know does happen right in front of our face, because you know what? The dog didn't crap on my porch, so, well, not my problem. But as I see these young kids going around, I saw the event. I'm still always very moved by it, and I was already, tired, and my back, I thought it was doing good enough. I went, and I was very thankful for the being able to go with the donation for the tickets, and it was awesome. I got to stay with my friend out there and his family. I got to talk to his mom and dad a little bit too, because I'd met them prior, and what a great set of people. I mean, just, you don't even have to know who they are. Just know that there are people out there that are just good people. That's it. And they let me sleep in a spare bedroom, and they had the most amazing water volume pressure I have had in so long. It was like, I don't even know. I'm done in a shower. I know what I'm doing, right? I've showered before. But I just kind of stood in there. I didn't do the little rape scene. I was all there huddled in the basin, but No, it was a really nice water pressure, but I got to stay there with those folks, and it was amazing. And his father is working with some paralysis and things in his arm and other things from a head injury. So, but this is a long thing that he's been dealing with for quite a long time, and they are great, and they let me get involved and talking about it, what they're doing for him, and it was wonderful. So it was very communal in that. But anyway, let's get back to the effect of that. So, as the event goes on, this is something a bit disturbing, and this has nothing to do with TPUSA. This is absolutely, listen to me right now, I am not saying anything about TPUSA. Again, I've not said anything really negative. I'm just saying, hey, do better, right? Just don't let the crowd exit out the exit doors to the side when they could come back through the vending at the very end and do some final purchases before they leave. You know, that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, as I'm sitting there and I am... You know, I'm with Fresh Mouth and Richardson Nutrition, which are both sponsors of mine. So if you go to rncstore.com, rnc.store.com, Richardson Nutrition Center, you go there, you order your apricot seeds, promo code PRICE, right? And then also with Fresh Mouth, you can make an email to them or go to, I think it's freshmouth/price on that as well. And they're very hospitable to me, and they let me kind of stand there when I've got nothing else to do, kind of like a home base of things. Because I didn't ask for a booth this year, and I'm kind of disappointed I didn't. I almost wish I would have this year because I think I would have really been able to do some amazing things. But anyway, that's my fault. But again, I didn't know I was going, and also taking my equipment on the plane would probably be another $300. Again, I was getting the ticket donated. So anyway, as the whole thing goes on, one of my friends, and he's actually been in the news. He's actually been in the news recently, as of before the election, and you know, through a cops overzealous thing or whatever. Anyway, so but this problem is that we were talking, and I'm not going to say anything. If he wants to come on the air, and he'll actually can give his name and talk about it. But here's what what was explained to me, is there was a booth just catty corner or cattywampus or just across the aisle down one or two that said Jesus was a Jew. And then like Jesus is the Messiah. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, I thought he was a man of Galilee, and then it actually makes him more Persian, and anyway. But hey, let's not jump ahead, right? So my friend was approached by this group and said, hey, will you wear this shirt and go heckle Tucker for us? And my friend is like Armenian, like Persian, has the olive skin, and you just, you know, the pronounced eyebrow, the obviously the dark hair, and it's just like, what the like, who the F are you people to do that? Like, what do you know, like. Anyway, so I'm paraphrasing. Me and him talked about it for, you know, a little while. But here's the thing, guys. This is in the middle of a youth movement, and I've got these younger kids who are being represented by this group of whatever, and I really did not get any details from them because I did not want to involve them into my circle. I just didn't want that. And to have them even, let's say they were joking. Let's say it was a ha-ha moment. Wow, okay, that's, woo. I guess my comedy wheel is not spinning that free anymore. Maybe the political correctness has dampened my humor. And it's like, wow, this is a thing. Like, we're talking about this whole thing. Like, this is actually you're going to be a paid protester. And a planted one at that. So this is a problem for me. That it's like, why do we keep having these things come up when we all could all do better? But the biggest thing is, guys, is if you have to pay somebody to go out there and sing your praises or do your dirty work, I don't know. I get real confused by that sometimes. And maybe I've done similar things. Maybe there's things that I've done in my life that sound or look the same way. But anyway, let's get back to it. So To me, the event itself, I thought the lineup would be better. I thought there would. And I know that sounds weird, but I miss the Sheriff Joe speeches. I miss the Donald Trump speeches. I miss some of those major guys that really were in it and had to be out there, right? But then I saw the usual suspects, and I was like, well, okay, we're just phoning it in. We're not even going to work anymore. We're just, oh yeah, that's cool, man. And I thought this was going to be a lot different than that. But again, there was some other things that I saw that the Nicki Minaj thing, I did not actually see that happen because at the time when that happened, I was actually out of that area of where even in the vending area, I didn't hear what was going on. So anyway, the point of this is that I just there's too many questions now that I had that I thought I didn't have questions. I thought I kind of knew where I was going on some of this. But now the problem is I have even more questions. But the problem is I've already kind of disqualified TPUSA as being as transparent or as honest or whatever it is. And I'm trying not to. I have no documentation. This is all just observation of things. Candace Owens is coming out with the receipts, the recipes, all the parts and how it bakes together and how you paid for it and and it's not good. So my problem is that I want to say that the event itself, if it can just do better, and I don't think Erica is the future of it. I think it really needs to be a faceless entity that TPUSA is, being ran by so-and-so, but it's about this, this, and this. Now, granted, Charlie was able to grow it because of his charisma. But remember, he didn't call it the Charlie Kirk Show, the Traveling Wilburys. He called it Turning Point and Amp Fest, America Fest. He didn't say Charlie's annual Christmas, get-together. So he was already moving himself away in that way, and that's where we all would want to be, right? I mean, that's why I named my mushroom line Silly Gnome. I didn't name it the Jim Price Mushroom Line. There are things that you can move away from yourself and still be a part of it. And he could still been that legacy in there and stick around, but he would have to move people in and out of controls, and that's how you grow a corporation, right? You can't do it all, and eventually it really should have had to been done probably a few years ago even, where he was able to handle over to a true CEO of that is doing the relationships and the numbers and making sure that the credibility is always being reinforced, right? The mission statement of things. And I think that if they actually just right after the first year say, "Hey, we're announcing that," I don't know, I can't even think of Thomas Massey is going to be the new CEO of Turning Point going forward as a volunteer position because he's run until he gets out of Congress, but he will be the acting CEO by volunteer, and it would be a way they could do that with his congressional seat and whatever. Or maybe they can do both. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Those things get real hairy in some states, and the way that we've allowed the washing down of our ability to speak to each other. But anyway, Thomas Massey, let's say, hey, Thomas Massey, he goes in there and he starts running it like a political organization and that faith base where he knows those are the wheelhouse where he's at. And again, it's AmFest. It's not, the Charlie Kirk Christmas show. And that kind of healing like that kind of go forward, I think if they really put somebody in there, and I'm not saying put a Trump Jr. or any of that, I'm just saying that you really put somebody, hey, you know what, guys, you want to turn AmFest into something way out of this world, like you're just spin your freaking head around, you make you feel like you just didn't think right? What if just after the first of the year they say, hey, by the way, we are now announcing our new CEO, Barron Trump? I mean, seriously, guys. Oh, Edward says central casting. Oh, I know. There's more to come about the Erica and the boyfriend and the child, and I think there's going to be some of that going on. We'll see. Have to see how this all comes out here very soon. So, If they announced that, that would be, I mean, that would just make everybody's head pop. I mean, I don't know who, I mean, it would just blow that entire organization into a different force. And it would be then a generational operation that would be ran by people who would run businesses. And do you see where that goes? You know, and let's say this is all Hunger Games and all that stuff. You know, it's been fun, guys. Let's do a little levity for just a second. You know what? This is all Hunger Games, like we were talking about central casting of things. Let's think about that. Let's think about it. It's just hey, guys, District 2, man, giving her hell. All right, Southeast out there. What? Got a little hurricane, huh? So you pissed 2 off, huh? Oh, you didn't get one this year? Well, good for you. Keep your nose clean there, right? If you know, you know. But my point of this is that if this is Hunger Games, well, hell, let's just give it our best, right? Let's not all lay down and make it a lazy show. Right? Let's stand up. Let's make the ratings pop, right, guys? So whoever's watching this, we might as well make it worth it, right? Let's get involved. But the point of that is that if we run something like a business, and so by the way, like I really like the Silly Gnome. I like talking about mushrooms. I love doing that stuff. But there will be a point where I'm going to have to say, hey, you know, I've got to hire someone that is a true operations person who understands, you know, the different things of the, you know, how the buildings are operated, but also how the company needs to make sure that's doing this, and this. And at their level, make sure that I do have someone that's running the finances and make sure that, you know, it's all accountable, right? Forensically provable. That's what forensics means. It means you can prove it forward and backwards, and forward and backwards. It's the same answer on both, you know, starts here, ends here. Ends here, starts here. Same. Well, and again, that's maybe not what they were doing with Turning Point. Maybe there was people that got a hold of their little, you know, the little auto pen and was like, oh, yeah, I want a new Ferrari. Doot, 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 doot. But what if there is some other scandals in there? Maybe what if the investment company thing isn't what it is or isn't backed by the right bonds? What happens then? You know, this could be bad, or this could be really something that was built as a legacy that's because Europe was invested in the right way, that it will always be sustainable and give returns that nobody has ever seen. I don't know. But the problem is when I have other people inside of their organization, that are questioning, and then now we have people going back through their taxes and they're going, hey, why is there a shell company to the chief, you know, right-hand man to Charlie's company to then pays for a life insurance policy outside the company? I mean, this is not like, I'm not making it up. These are things this is out there. The tax returns, there's a lot of weird stuff on there. And maybe they thought they were doing it right, and maybe they thought being clever and trying to avoid, I don't know. I don't know, right? I'm not them. But if they had any legal counsel at all, they'd tell them not to say a damn word, right? They'd tell them, make sure and keep your pie hole shut. Don't do things. Yeah, I see that word. Thank you, 444. So as we go forward into this, I hope the Turning Point can just go ahead and just pull down their pants and show us what they're working with. You know, we get to see what it all looks like. No hidden behind any layers of clothes. We're going to get to see it all. And that's where they get to be authentic and they get to be real, and then they get to pay for what they did right or did wrong. And that's really where it all ends up being, guys. I don't know what TPS USA is going to do next year. I would like to think that they're going to this is going to be something that maybe they can really do something with. But I don't think throwing Erica in there, Miss Pageant, Miss now sounds like she has actually worked for the government. Throwing her in as the head and then her doing the evil eye, you know, over the hooded eye stare thing and acting like Kenneth Copeland and some stuff. I mean, I'm not her. Her love, good, bad, or indifferent, I don't know. But I don't think she's the one to be out there doing that. Again, like I said, maybe we leave her in there for a minute so it looks like she really tried. And in annals of history, she stood in right away. Makes her a strong woman. Fine. But let's say that they don't get it right next year and assign somebody there that's actually understands what business really is, what paying bills and doing things in a coordinated fashion. Not that they don't do. Hey guys, I've been to their events across the country, and they're all ran exactly the same, and they do really a great job. But I'm talking about the backside of things and how things are paid for and how things look, and and then there's also the internal stories of internal strife and, oh, she said this and he said that and he touched her there and she touched him that, and guys, that's going to be in every corporation if we all want to get real naked about it. We get real authentic. But that's the problem with this whole thing, is that this year it seemed very, very chaotic, very static, not very flow. The merchant room was really different, it seemed. I don't know, maybe it was exactly the same, but putting the media down at the end of the merchant row really made it extra loud, because merchants are trying to speak over the speakers, and then the people are talking to each other in interviews, unless they've got true headphones on, over-the-ear headphones, they're going to be like, because they're thinking they're not being picked up, right? And the guys have to turn the gain all the way down and all this other stuff. But, those are all errors. Okay, doesn't make a fail out of it. Nobody lost any limbs that I know of, right? There was a lot of a different group of people which had never had their presence there before, and that's all I'm going to say about that. It just seemed like there was a lot of extra that was not absolutely seen at all last year or the year before, and so this is my third year doing it. So my point of it is that I want you guys to understand that we're all human and we're all frail. We do dumb things, and when we're put under pressure, that's fine. But we need to get them to own it. But I think that they actually, if they can somehow, just like I said, reassign somebody, not one of the internal people, someone who's already got something very similar, is doing that's really a true business person, and maybe isn't famous, but is famous in their financial world of running this, that, and the other thing. Maybe they turned around, whatever. And I think it would be brilliant if they did. I think it would allow for Erica to be the one who ran the ship and all that. But at that point, I don't know. Charlie would have to have already been thinking about how he exits, right? And moves to the side and allows the next, because he was honestly, he's in his 30s, right? You're getting old, man. And, turning it back into somebody that's at 24, 25 years old and letting them start being the MC of it all, right? And it's not the Charlie Kirk show. It's still, Turning Point. And I think if they actually think in a mission statement, and if even in his own heart, I hope that he was actually thinking that way as well. But maybe he hadn't gotten there yet. Maybe he was slow to react to what was really going on, or maybe he had already had, and maybe that scared a lot of people because they just didn't see how they could replace Charlie. And people do that kind of stuff, guys. Listen, that's not, people will do evil things to try to maintain the good they have. Does that make sense to you? Like, it just doesn't, I know that it's weird when people are like, oh, I'm a step back. Oh, don't you dare. Holy, what is that? What is that? And then we understand that there may or may not be things going on financially with them internally, which, again, get transparent, guys. Let's just get it out there. Just drop your pants. Don't be shy. And we all do that. All the mystery goes away, and then we just start talking again. Remember, the first sin in the Bible is, why are you clothed? Who told you were naked? See, to be naked means that you are the most authentic, the most real, the most authentic you can be, the highest vibration you can be, the closer you can be to your God. But yet we can't even be honest with ourselves about our own bodies and our own hearts, our own minds. And I think that if Turning Point gets to that point and quits doing the, in Jesus' name, not that they did that. I'm trying to be funny there. I hope it hit. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying not to laugh the whole time. But the problem is that if they can do that and they can be authentic about what they're doing going forward, and someone perfect isn't the answer. It's someone who, someone needs to run that CEO position, and there needs to be a true person that comes out of whatever. And if it's I mean, honestly, I'd say, I'm facetiously, it's Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan steps in, and he's still already older, but he's going to draw a completely different crowd, right? Well, that doesn't fit. Oh, well, that screws it all up. Now we're all wanting to go see Joe Rogan. But is he going to do the crossover where the people who like him, because he is kind of middle ground sometimes on things, or a little liberal on some others, but now all of a sudden he's trying to figure out how to be a conservative and balance all that out. Maybe, oh, wait, but he's not into all the Christian stuff. And, oh, wait, he's not into the Jew stuff. He's not into the Muslim stuff. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying anything for him on that. He probably is cool with all of that. But I was just saying that you got to think about the future of that. And I would like to say that the Nicki Minaj thing was really eye-opening. I thought that was a lot of theater to me, and it just did not feel real. I don't know. Unless Nicki Minaj just doesn't know how to be real anymore. Because I looked at somebody, it looks like they were actually just like over-exaggerating everything they did just because they think that that's what people want to see. And I didn't see the genuine heart of that. I mean, I understand she made some very pointed statements, but she's also an actor or actress. Well, hey, I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys. I can't say. I don't know if she is or isn't, and I don't know if she wants to be called a is or isn't. I don't know. Anyway. But again, there was some more of that stuff that really you have to be. I don't know. Maybe she's going to be that Trumper that we never thought. But I also know that where she comes from and where her money's came from, and the things that she's done to women, and how it's really has. I mean, women don't need that extra stuff that is put into them by Hollywood and other things. Well, they really don't. They don't need all that extra. But anyway, it's just what happens. But I don't know about the Nicki Minaj thing. I wish there would have been some other speakers that I feel may be a little closer and maybe should have been a little less limelight. Allow for a couple of the guys that are some of the local heroes get up there and they're in there doing the little podcast. Not me, I'm not saying that. But, maybe some people who've had a story of January 6th and we're still remembering those people and still trying to figure that out. But that's just me, and I think that the model they had that Charlie had put together was good, and I think they were trying to Xerox it, and it came out a little sloppy. And that's all I got to say about it. I really wish that, the water would have been back this year, and the temperature control would have been, and the volume of those speakers. Oh my gosh, breathtaking. Anyway, so that's it. The content itself, guys, you can take it for what it's worth. But I will tell you the highlight of one thing, and I want you guys to listen to this. Is that when Tucker Carlson said that the unprotected class, who is the most persecuted and who should be protected, is white males. And I paraphrased a lot of that. I kind of condensed a lot of that. But there is a part in there where he's talking about the human rights of things and what our life experiences really are. And he said it right because he really got the facts in there, and then he dropped that fact in there. And then he gave it just a little bit of humor so it stuck. And I hope that it did with people. I hope they caught the whole thing. And I think Tucker's having to go through a lot of learning right now. I think Tucker is a lot like I was, to me. Maybe he's an operative. I don't know. Maybe he's CIA, whatever his dad is or isn't. Oh, God, that's a whole other thing. I wish he'd kind of get his shit together on his story, please. It's really making me nervous. If you're just been MK Ultra'd your whole life, dude, maybe you are starting to come clean with it. Maybe your dad didn't know or inadvertently thought you were just being, getting extra English classes to make you a better speller. And you had headphones on and you were showing these cards and you were doing all these things because they said, oh, it'll help you with spelling. And that was MK Ultra, which goes back to a lot of other things that we know coming out with the Manchurian candidates, even Uncle Barry, I think, is a Manchurian candidate. I think he's been programmed. His whole family was CIA. It's all been published. I'm not making that up. So my point is that, guys, Tucker did a good job. I think he's learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. I still think I'm learning every day about how I hold myself back and how much I enjoy the cages that I built for myself because my government told me to. And you guys have been great about listening and let me go on and on, but I will tell you right now, if you get a chance to go. If you got a chance to go to D.C., go. If you got a chance to go to any parts of other Virginia or any of the other coastal cities where you can see some of the old buildings, the original buildings that were here before us, go. Start feeling about where you're from and who you are, and stop letting the lies wash you down. It's not necessary. We got a lot of things going on inside ourselves and a lot of things going around us, but you do need to go to these events. You do need to show up. You need to find a way. And if that means you have to ask or look for help, well, then do it. If that means that you need to donate to somebody else because you know they need to go, well, then do that too. Maybe you do have it, maybe you don't have it. I don't know. But the point of it is do something. But I'm telling you, these events, I go as media, and I look at it completely different. But I'll tell you, there's people walking around with so much love in their heart, and their mouths are just gaped open in awe, and just they're soaking it all in, because to them, they've been in such a desert of their life. To go in there, it's just overwhelming for them. So good on them, right? That's wonderful. But we got to keep pushing with knowledge. We got to keep pushing for each other. We got to keep trying making sure we're there for each other and make a better world around us. And I hope that what I've said today doesn't offend that many people. I know there's probably something I said that wasn't, whatever. Get over it. Build a bridge and get over it, right? Cry me a river, build me a bridge, get over it, whatever. Is that? I screwed that up too. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. It's been awesome. Good to see everybody out there. We had Ed was giving it all he had there because we had all these feeds all screwed up. I'm going to have to go back and find out what's going on with Facebook. And guys, thank you so much for all the great comments and putting in the effort to be here and doing the right thing about learning about what we can do for each other. I know that it's not always easy, and we do need to put that effort into worlds around us because, hey, life is about pushing against the gravity that holds you to this earth that we're on. And I say that as jokingly as it's real. If I do not push back against gravity, I turn into a big pile of ugh. Right? And that what we see with those 600-pound people, they just quit moving, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Who's wiping them? Oh, my God. Anyway, so that ruined the show right there. Sorry about that. But anyway, guys, let's all do better for each other. Let's do that, okay? And the world around us is we can do it. I know we can. I've seen it. And I've seen the people in awe because it's their first time. And I'm over here going, hey, man, we need you in there all the way. Let's keep refreshing new people in, because they need to feel reinforced and know that we're all in this together. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. There will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I do not make promises I cannot keep. Guys, you've always been the answer. Remember that Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. And I don't understand why we actually think we're so small. I mean, you think about how big their guns are, because that's how afraid of us they really are. They build guns because they know that there could be a day they have to fight us. And maybe somebody else is us. You know, China's us, or Venezuela's us. See, we got a pretty big army that protects us, but also could hurt us. But that's also, they know that we are the biggest threat to them. The American people are the biggest threat to the American armed forces. Why do you think they give them so many guns? Why do they think they go through little towns? It's not always about Afghanistan, guys. Anyway, wake up to that, right? You guys are amazing. You're powerful. Just stand up in your own power and be the amazing people out there. Anyway, hope you guys understand what happened this weekend. It was great to be out there and to see a few friends and meet new ones as well. Looks like we're going to be working with Cardio Miracle coming up here very soon. So we had a great conversation on Saturday evening, and what a great performance by his son. And I'll have to see if I can show you guys that video maybe tomorrow or Wednesday when we do our Christmas Eve show. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.